Right now, somewhere in the world, a man or woman in their 70s is gripping the stair rail a little tighter, wondering when 10 steps started to feel like a mountain. If that sounds familiar, listen closely. Your muscles are not disappearing because you are lazy or broken. In most seniors, they are starving for one simple thing they are no longer getting in the right way. Not a magic pill or a gym membership, but a specific nutrient signal that tells your body it is time to rebuild. In the next few minutes, I am going to show you how to turn ordinary everyday foods into that signal, so your muscles finally get the message to wake up, grow stronger, and support the life you still want to live. Think back 10 or 20 years. Maybe you carried grocery bags in both hands without thinking, rose from the couch in one smooth motion, or walked up a flight of stairs while talking without losing your breath. Now, if you are like many people over 60, every one of those actions feels just a little heavier. Your thighs burn sooner. Your grip feels less certain. You might reach for furniture or a rail to steady yourself, even inside your own home. Doctors have a name for this slow change. They call it sarcopenia, age-related muscle loss. But I want you to hear something important. Sarcopenia is not a final sentence. It is a description of what happens when muscles stop getting the message to repair and rebuild. It shows up as shrinking thighs, softer arms, a slower walking speed, and more effort needed for simple tasks like standing from a chair or getting out of a car. For many seniors, this loss of strength feels confusing. You might say to yourself, "I have not changed my routine, so why do my legs feel so weak?" You may even blame your willpower or think, "I must just be getting old." The truth is more specific and far more hopeful. Your muscles are not simply fading because of the calendar. They are responding to the signals you send them every day through food, movement, and rest. The problem is that after 60, the old pattern that once worked no longer delivers the message your muscles need. You might still be eating protein, but not in the right amount or at the right times. You might be eating meals that fill your stomach without turning on the body's repair machinery. Instead of hearing a clear instruction to grow, your muscles receive only a faint whisper. In this video, we are going to turn up the volume on that repair signal. Not with complicated powders or expensive supplements, but with one core nutrient pattern that tells your body clearly it is time to rebuild. Once you understand how this signal works, you can begin to reclaim strength meal by meal, even if you have already noticed years of gradual decline. You might notice this loss of power most when something unexpected happens. A grandchild runs toward you and you hesitate before lifting them. A bus arrives and you realize you cannot step up as quickly as before. A wet floor or uneven sidewalk makes you nervous because deep down you are not sure your legs will catch you if you slip. These are not signs that you should give up. They are signals that your muscles are asking for clearer support. When you learn how to feed and challenge them correctly, they can still respond, even after years of gradual decline. Inside every muscle cell in your body, there is a tiny control center listening for one question. Do we have enough reason and enough material to build more muscle today? That control center runs through a pathway scientists call mTOR. You do not need to remember the name, but you do need to understand what it does. When mTOR is switched on, your muscle-building machinery wakes up, pulls in amino acids, and starts repairing and thickening the fibers that allow you to stand, walk, lift, and balance. When you were younger, this switch flipped easily. A small amount of protein, a bit of movement, and your body responded with strong repair. After 60, that system becomes harder to wake. The same small meals that once kept you strong now barely move the needle. Researchers sometimes call this anabolic resistance. Your muscles are not deaf, but they are harder of hearing. They need a louder, clearer signal to respond. That louder signal comes from a special group within protein called branched-chain amino acids, and one in particular named leucine. Think of leucine as the spark that wakes up mTOR. Without enough leucine in a single meal, your muscles treat it as background noise. They use a little protein for basic maintenance, but they never shift into full repair mode. You could eat 3 small, low-protein meals, feel full, and still end the day with a net loss of muscle. Here is the hopeful part. You do not need a laboratory or a complicated supplement plan to use this science. You simply need to build meals that include enough high-quality protein, rich in leucine, and pair it with a few key helpers that make that signal stronger and clearer. When you do that 2 or 3 times a day, you are not just feeding yourself. You are sending a direct, powerful message to your muscles that it is safe and necessary to grow again. In the next sections, we will look at everyday foods that deliver this signal, not in theory, but in real amounts that work in older bodies, and how to combine them into a daily pattern that your muscles understand. So when you hear people say, "I am old, of course I am weak," remember that this is only part of the story. Yes, age makes the switch harder to flip, but it does not remove it. The mTOR pathway is still there in your muscles, waiting for the right pattern of food and movement. Your job is not to fight your age, but to learn how to speak the new language your body understands now. Once you do, each meal and each simple exercise stop feeling random and begin to feel like part of a clear, purposeful plan. Let us start where most days begin, with breakfast. For many seniors, breakfast is where sarcopenia quietly accelerates. A slice of toast, a little jam, a banana, maybe coffee with sugar. It feels light and easy, but it delivers almost no meaningful protein and almost no leucine. Your muscles wake up from the night expecting building blocks and a clear signal, and instead they receive mostly sugar and starch. For hours, they stay in idle mode. Now imagine a different morning. You still sit at the same table, drink the same hot coffee or tea, but the plate in front of you is sending a totally different instruction. On that plate are 2 whole eggs, gently scrambled or boiled, alongside a handful of wilted spinach cooked in a bit of olive oil. Maybe you add a small spoonful of cottage cheese or Greek yogurt on the side. Those 2 eggs are not just a familiar breakfast food. Together, they carry enough leucine to move your body much closer to the threshold that wakes mTOR. The yolks provide vitamin D and other fat-soluble nutrients that help your body use the protein more effectively. The spinach contributes nitrates and magnesium that improve blood flow into the working muscle and support nerve signals. The yogurt or cottage cheese adds slow-release casein protein that continues to trickle amino acids into your bloodstream for hours. In simple terms, that breakfast does 3 things at once. It provides enough of the right amino acid spark to flip the repair switch. It sends that signal in a calm way without a big sugar spike and crash. And it bathes your muscle fibers in nutrients that keep the repair process going well into the morning. If eggs are not an option for you, you can build a similar signal from other foods. A bowl of thick Greek yogurt topped with nuts, and a spoon of protein-rich seeds, or a tofu scramble cooked with vegetables can still deliver a strong leucine message. The exact ingredients can change with your culture, your budget, and your taste. The principle stays the same. Breakfast is no longer just about stopping hunger. It becomes the first deliberate step you take each day toward rebuilding the strength in your legs, your hands, and your core. By the time lunch arrives, many older adults are already behind on protein for the day. A small bowl of soup, a piece of bread, maybe some fruit can quiet your stomach, but it will not send the message your muscles are waiting for. Remember, after 60, you are no longer just eating to feel full. You are eating to protect your independence. A muscle-smart lunch focuses on two things: reaching that leucine threshold again and supporting circulation so nutrients can actually reach your working tissue. One simple pattern is a bowl built around lentils or beans, topped with a modest portion of animal protein and plenty of colorful vegetables. For example, picture a warm lentil and vegetable stew with chunks of slow-cooked chicken thigh sprinkled with pumpkin seeds. The lentils bring plant-based protein, iron, and arginine, which helps your body produce nitric oxide and widen blood vessels. The chicken thighs contribute complete protein, including leucine, plus natural collagen from the connective tissue. That collagen helps maintain the scaffolding around your muscle fibers and supports your joints and tendons so they can handle more movement. Pumpkin seeds quietly deliver magnesium and zinc, minerals your body uses to assemble new protein strands and keep muscle contractions smooth. When you eat a lunch like this, you are not relying on one single food to do everything. You are building a small team on your plate. The lentils stabilize blood sugar so you avoid the heavy afternoon crash. The chicken provides the raw material your muscles crave. The seeds supply the cofactors that let your cellular machinery run without stalling. Even the vegetables contribute antioxidants that lower the background inflammation, which often interferes with muscle repair in older adults. If you prefer a lighter meal, you can turn the same idea into a salad. A base of mixed greens, a scoop of beans or lentils, strips of grilled chicken or flaked salmon, a handful of cherry tomatoes, and a sprinkle of pumpkin or sunflower seeds, dressed with olive oil and lemon. It is still the same pattern: protein, healthy fat, fiber, and minerals working together, so you leave the table not only satisfied, but quietly rebuilding strength for the rest of the day. Evening is when many people over 60 unintentionally shut down their muscle-building potential. Dinner becomes the largest meal of the day, but it may be heavy on refined grains, sauces, and dessert, and too light on the specific nutrients that restart repair. Or, after a long day, you may simply nibble something small and go to bed, leaving your body without what it needs to rebuild overnight. Instead, think of dinner as your scheduled repair session. This is your chance to pair a strong protein signal with gentle anti-inflammatory support and hydration, all before your body begins its natural nighttime healing. A simple, powerful example is a plate of baked salmon, a side of roasted vegetables, and a scoop of Greek yogurt with herbs as a sauce or small dessert. The salmon provides high-quality protein and those omega-3 fats that make your muscle cells more sensitive to leucine and other amino acids. It is as if you are turning up the volume on the repair message, so even stubborn, resistant muscle fibers pay attention. The roasted vegetables deliver fiber and potassium that keep your circulation and digestion moving smoothly. The herbed yogurt adds extra protein and beneficial bacteria that support your gut, the gateway through which every nutrient must pass. If you do not enjoy fish, you can build a similar pattern with slow-cooked chicken thighs or turkey mixed with beans and vegetables in a stew or casserole. The key is that dinner contains at least one palm-sized portion of protein, paired with healthy fats and plenty of plants, rather than being built mostly from bread, rice, or sweets. About an hour before bed, a small serving of cottage cheese or more Greek yogurt can add one final slow-release wave of amino acids. While you sleep, your body is quietly patching tiny tears in muscle fibers, strengthening tendons, and resetting your nervous system. Giving it the right fuel before you lie down turns each night into an opportunity for progress instead of another 8 hours of muscle loss. Over time, you may even build a relaxing evening ritual around this idea: a calm, unhurried dinner, A short, gentle walk, a glass of water or herbal tea, and then your small protein-rich snack. Step by step, your mind learns to associate the end of the day with healing, not worry, and your muscles receive a clear repeated message that night is when they are rebuilt, not forgotten. If muscle repair were only about grams of protein, the solution would be simple. Eat more and the problem disappears. But you may already know it does not work that way. Many seniors increase protein and still feel weak because the quiet partners that make protein effective are missing. Without them, leucine knocks on the door but the cell cannot fully respond. One of those partners is magnesium, the mineral involved in hundreds of reactions, including the enzymes that build new muscle protein. Without enough magnesium, the tools inside your cells are dull. Pumpkin seeds, leafy greens, nuts, and whole grains all offer natural sources. Sprinkling a handful of seeds over yogurt, adding spinach to eggs, or eating a small portion of nuts each day gives your body what it needs to keep those enzymes working. Another partner is omega-3 fat, especially from fatty fish like salmon, sardines, or trout. Omega-3s lower the background inflammation that makes muscles and joints feel stiff and sore. When inflammation drops, the mTOR switch is easier to activate, and your body is less likely to break down muscle for fuel during times of stress. Even 2 or 3 fish meals a week can change the way your muscles respond to the protein you eat. Vitamin D is also essential. It is not only a bone nutrient. Your muscle cells have vitamin D receptors that influence strength, balance, and reaction time. Sunlight helps, but many older adults still fall short. Eggs, fortified dairy, and fatty fish all contribute, and in some cases your doctor may recommend a supplement. When vitamin D is in a healthy range, the signals between your nerves and muscles are clearer and your body can make better use of each muscle-focused meal. Finally, hydration matters more than most people realize. Muscles are mostly water. When you are even mildly dehydrated, blood flow slows and the delivery of amino acids and minerals into the muscle is less efficient. Simple habits like drinking water between meals, enjoying herbal tea, and eating water-rich foods such as soups and fruits help keep the whole system fluid. Together, these quiet partners turn ordinary protein into a powerful tool for rebuilding strength. This is why simply adding a scoop of any random protein powder to your day rarely produces the results you hope for. If your diet is low in magnesium, if you rarely eat fish or vitamin D-rich foods, if you seldom drink plain water, the signal remains incomplete. Your muscles might get the raw material, but not the tools or helpers needed to use it well. By gently improving these supporting pieces alongside your protein intake, you turn a weak, scattered message into a strong, coordinated instruction. That is the difference between eating more and truly rebuilding. Food alone can send the signal to rebuild, but movement is what gives your body a reason to listen. The good news is that you do not need intense workouts or heavy weights to wake your muscles up. In fact, for many seniors, gentle, regular resistance is far more effective and far safer than trying to follow a routine designed for someone half their age. Think of your muscles as a team that has been underused, not retired. When you ask them to work in simple, controlled ways, they remember their job. A few basic movements practiced most days of the week can transform the way your new nutrient pattern shows up in real life. For example, chair squats, where you sit down and stand up slowly from a sturdy chair, train your thighs and hips, the very muscles that protect you from falls. Wall push-ups, done standing with your hands on a wall or countertop, gently challenge your chest, shoulders, and arms without straining your wrists or back. Heel raises, where you hold a counter and lift your heels off the floor, strengthen your calves, which act as a second heart to pump blood back up from your feet. Light resistance bands can add a little extra challenge to rows or biceps curls without needing heavy equipment. The key is not perfection. It is pairing these movements with the meals we have discussed. When you eat a leucine-rich breakfast, follow it later with a short session of simple exercises. When you enjoy a protein-focused dinner, take a 10 or 15-minute walk afterward. Every time you move a muscle soon after feeding it, you teach your body that this tissue is still important, still used, and still worth repairing. If walking is difficult, even seated marches, where you lift one knee at a time while seated, or squeezing a soft ball in your hands can begin the process. What matters most is that your muscles regularly feel a little challenged and then receive the right nutrients to recover. That cycle of stress and repair is what gradually turns weakness into strength. To keep things realistic, aim first for 10 minutes of focused movement after 1 or 2 meals each day, rather than promising yourself an hour-long workout you will never start. You can do these exercises in normal clothes, in your living room, with a sturdy chair and a bit of wall space. No mirrors, no loud music, no pressure to perform. Just you, your body, and the quiet message that you are choosing to stay strong on purpose. You might be wondering, how do I put all of this together without feeling overwhelmed? The answer is to think in patterns, not perfection. Your muscles do not need a complicated schedule. They need a few consistent signals repeated day after day until strength quietly returns. Here is one simple pattern to imagine. In the morning, you start with a muscle-focused breakfast, 2 eggs with spinach and a side of yogurt or cottage cheese. You drink water with your meal and later enjoy a cup of tea. Sometime in the late morning or early afternoon, you stand up from your chair and do 10 slow chair squats and 10 wall push-ups, resting as needed. At midday, you build a plate like the lentil and chicken bowl we discussed, or a bean and vegetable soup with a slice of whole grain bread and a sprinkle of pumpkin seeds. After lunch, you walk around your home or outside for 10 minutes, or perform some simple heel raises at the counter. Your legs feel slightly worked, not exhausted. In the evening, dinner includes a palm-sized portion of protein, such as baked salmon or stewed chicken, along with roasted vegetables and maybe a small serving of Greek yogurt. You drink enough water to feel hydrated, but not so much that sleep is disturbed. About an hour before bed, you have a few spoonfuls of cottage cheese or yogurt, giving your body one more gentle pulse of amino acids to use overnight. Layered on top of this are the quiet partners, leafy greens most days, pumpkin seeds or nuts as regular snacks, and 2 or 3 portions of fatty fish each week. You practice slow, deep breathing when you feel stressed, which calms your nervous system and helps your muscles relax and recover. Over weeks, this pattern stops being a plan on paper and becomes your normal way of living. You are no longer guessing about what to eat or when to move. You are sending a clear, repeated message to your body. These muscles still matter, and I am willing to feed and use them. If this sounds like a lot to change, remember that you do not have to do it alone or all at once. You can start with 1 meal, 1 walk, 1 glass of water. You can write down a simple checklist and place it on your fridge or next to your favorite chair. Each small box you tick, each time you choose the muscle-building option, you are casting a vote for the version of yourself who stands taller, moves with more ease, and feels more capable in daily life. Strength does not return in a single day, but it does return to those who send the right signals over and over again. You have just learned how one simple idea, the right protein signal supported by its quiet partners, can change the future of your muscles. But nothing will shift until you turn this knowledge into one small action. So here is your challenge. Over the next 14 days, choose just 2 meals each day and make them muscle-focused on purpose. Include a real source of protein, a sprinkle of seeds or nuts, and at least one colorful vegetable. After one of those meals, spend 10 minutes doing the gentle movements we discussed, even if you stay near a chair the whole time. Then notice. Notice whether getting up feels easier, whether the stairs feel less steep, whether your balance feels a little more secure. If you found this guidance helpful, subscribe, share this message with someone you care about, and keep coming back. Your strength story is not over yet.